he wore it during the Superbowl performance, which was actually really, really cool. So, you know, if I'm one of the FaZe guys, I'm just losing my that I'm seeing Snoop wearing my logo.
So, like, I want to see more of this stuff because it's sick. It shows also just how widespread gaming is, and it positions what we do as competitive gamers in a spot of sort of cultural relevance. Microsoft has nothing to do with Season 5 of the Overwatch League, guys. Not a thing. Welcome back, everybody, to the Breakdown. It is the 16th of February. My name is Mitch Leslie. I'm here with the venerable Scott Smith for the Breakdown once more. What's up, everybody? Great to be here. I'm feeling energetic today. There's a lot to get through, so it's just as well. Scott, how are you feeling, mate?
I'm feeling great. I like it when you do the intros. I get to just sit and chill and wait for it, get pumped up. World famous UberShouts, my co-host. I'm good. Couple of little housekeeping notes. As always, remember, we do question and answer at the very end of the show. So as we're talking about stuff, anything floats inside your mind you want to ask us, hit us up in chat. And also, Mitch, based on last week, remember I was talking about, you know, Hector is the god of sponsorship plugs? We got ourselves a sponsor, my friend. New segment coming up at the end of the show. Rapid Fire, presented by Rivalry. Rivalry Sportsbook. Check them out, rivalry.gg. For all your sports and esports betting needs. Gonna ask each other wacky, crazy questions every week. Gonna get chat involved. Gonna be a fun time. So we'll be starting that out at the end of this week. This show.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, so I have no idea what to expect. I think I'm on the operating table for our rapid fire later on. So
correct.
Yeah.
I know the questions. Okay. You don't know them because I'm asking you. Then next week you're gonna ask me. We're all one of us will always be in the dark on this silliness. So there you have it. End of the show. Keep that in mind, folks.
Cool. That's fine. I will. I don't know how you can prepare for that. It's not like you can really cram to be dressed down in that manner, but that's fine. I'll prepare for it. Yeah, I think like we have like a really broad spectrum of topics just to sort of talk through this week. But yeah, if we missed any, or if there's anything that, you know, someone saw on social or wanted maybe our takes on, you know, us niche internet micro celebrities over here, then yeah, we're happy to sort of weigh in on that. The first one. Scoots, you love sports ball, right? You're a sports ball guy, yeah?
I love the meat sports. The meat sports.
Okay.
I love the meat sports.
All right. So this is obviously not the first time we've seen like a collaboration between like the gaming and esports spheres and traditional sports, but FaZe Clan sort of announced this. This is back in February the 8th. So if I'd have seen this, then Snoop Dogg's chain would have made much more sense to me.
Yes.
But FaZe Clan has collaborated with the NFL ahead of the upcoming Super Bowl. This entailed a bunch of content activations, right? Which all I had seen hitherto was Snoop Dogg wearing a fucking FaZe Clan chain, but there's more to it than that, Scott, thankfully.
Much more to it. And again, this relationship started a couple years ago with the NFL and FaZe Clan. They were involved in 2019 with some NFL draft-related content. They raised about $100,000 or $50,000 for charity. Obviously, Brett Favre involved, bunch of players involved, and talent from the FaZe side, again, playing some flag football. Very, very cool. And again, I think the overarching kind of conversation that we're going to probably have ongoing is this melting of entertainment in sports and now entertainment in esports, right? Some of these big brands, phases of the world. As we already know, some of our esports teams have sports money behind them already, kind of behind the scenes investment. Nice to see some very public-facing, you know, activations on this stuff. And again, like you said, Snoop Dogg wearing the 100 Thieves chain from last week, wearing a FaZe chain, very similar chain, one real, one virtual. And then he wore it during the Superbowl performance, which was actually really, really cool. So, you know, if I'm one of the FaZe guys, I'm just losing my shit that I'm seeing Snoop wearing my logo.
So I'm going to stop you. First of all, so the 100 Thieves chain is an E-chain, and this is a traditional chain.
Just real.
Okay? Let me just make it very clear. Not real, not real. It's E-chain, traditional chain. Can I be honest with you? Am I fucking boomer for not knowing who any of the people outside of Snoop Dogg in that photo are? I don't know who any of those guys are.
I mean, I think those are mostly FaZe guys.
Do you know who they
are? No, I don't. No. Is that FaZe Swag? Right. I think I recognize Swag. Is Swag in there? That guy
at the back looks like the Crimson Chin, though. It looks like he could break an anvil with the fucking chin on him. That's called chiseled, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, okay, a bunch of rich guys with a lot of jewelry and mismatched clothing. This is fine. But yeah, you had to look for it though. If you didn't know about this news, you would see Snoop Dogg obviously in the halftime performance, which is fucking sick. wearing this chain. He had a couple chains on, but he had a FaZe Clan chain, and no one really understood it. You know what I don't understand, Scott, is that, I mean, it's the year 2022 now, as I've just outlined at the beginning of the episode, February 16. People are like freaking out because Snoop Dogg, not during the performance, by the way, but he was observed smoking weed before the halftime performance. Why is anyone surprised about this anymore? Hello?
I literally had to go look and make sure this wasn't like an Onion news post about being outraged that he was caught backstage pre-gaming before the halftime show. And I was just like, it's Snoop Dogg. Like he smokes all the goddamn.
At XP, this motherfucker was smoking during his performance. No one is so much like this is regular. This is normal. He smokes during his fucking performances.
This gentleman, because I love the man, he's a gentleman. He has a full-time roller on salary. Guy gets a 401k. He's got Blue Cross Blue Shield. His sole job is to roll the joints. Amazing. Right? Like, aspire to that kind of job. What do you need today, Snoop? Okay. Oh, that's a busy day. Okay. Give me some time.
Can I get a protein shake maker on payroll? Just fucking hand me liquid gains whenever I fucking want it.
You make the kind of money that Snoop
Jason
Dogg
says no room in the budget yet.
No room in the budget.
You try to tell me you can put a sentient cat in the virtual world behind us. What's up, Blackjack? But you can't get me a fucking gains man. Unreal.
We can get you a gains man if you start flying out here. We'll get Tyler to make you some sort of special shake.
No cap. No shot. Tyler actually makes me protein shake. Unreal. Look, on that note, maybe the next couple of weeks, because that curve's starting to flatten. It
is getting better.
But yeah, I just thought that was funny. Like, you know, you got to, I guess because it was network TV, right? But he didn't smoke during the performance, which I would not have batted a fucking eyelid at, because Christ, we're in California. It's Snoop Dogg, for Christ's sake. Like, the fact that he didn't smoke is more shocking to me. Like, what sort of deity was able to intercede on behalf of those who think that weed is evil to get him not to do it at the Super Bowl performance? Homie should have just fucking lit one up, man. I don't know. Literally no one would have cared.
I mean, the dude woke up and smoked. He smoked at breakfast. He smoked in the limo. He smoked during sound check. Like, I just wondered, the guy that was taking the photo, or the gal, or whoever, thought maybe they were busting him. This is a celebrity gotcha moment. Oh my God, before the Super Bowl, he's smoking weed in a legal state now, by the way, as well. It is also legal in California.
Yes.
So yeah, just
I have to have been
silliness.
White as fuck to look at that photo and think that it actually meant anything. I don't know. I just thought it was quite funny, Scott.
But again, it's really neat. Back to the actual, like, the news. This FaZe sports connection, again, just esports, sports, entertainment. I think it's really neat because it just shows you that it's just being put right up there with what we feel are bigger, normal, mainstream entertainment things, right? And obviously, FaZe is very much known as an entertainment brand, not just a hardcore. And some would say they're more known as a content brand than they are a hardcore win tournaments esports brand, right? Obviously, walking both lines very well, much like Optic when we talked to Hector last week.
They had an okay VALORANT team, to be honest.
I mean, they're definitely doing both.
The Atlanta FaZe in the CDL are pretty sick, I guess. Yep. And they have a Counter-Strike team.
Absolutely,
so I feel like they're not a jersey. They're not just a jersey.
They're not quite a hoodie org. Is that true?
I think they're more legit than 100 Thieves in a way. You know, putting it out there.
Wow. Yeah. Putting out the virtual versus the what did you correct me on? It's not real chain. It's
Scott,
traditional chain
and esports and traditional sport. No one says real sports and imaginary sports, right? Esports, traditional sports. So now it's an e-chain and traditional chain. Like, we just have to follow
traditional chain. Traditional chains. Got it.
We've got to legitimize my fucking virtual bling, homie. All right, just fucking watch your mouth,
virtual
man.
Bling.
But this isn't the only, in recent times, the only sort of crossover or joint activation between gaming and the traditional sports world, right? I quite like this. So Twitch Rivals, fucking love Twitch Rivals, by the way. Love working on that product. Hire me back again, you motherfuckers. Twitch Rivals partnered with Epic Games and the NFLPA, so the Players Association, to run the Streamer Bowl.
Yep.
Featuring Fortnite in the lead up to the Super Bowl. So it's like a huge event with like 60 players, community champions as well, which is like, I guess, streamers that aren't pros of Fortnite. They're not, NFL stars. These are they're just popular streamers, community champions, I guess we will. But so, bro, this is fucking sick because obviously a ton of NFL players play Fortnite.
Yes.
I mean, Tariq Cohen's there, Christian McCaffrey up the back there, Hollywood Brown. Holy shit. So I love this. This is not the first time this has happened. I think the venue's also cool. Looks like it's in a tent for fuck's sake, which is kind of wild, right? Just like a add water venue.
Yeah.
So as you can see here, it's like community champion. Could be like members of people's Twitch communities as well. I don't really know, but again, Twitch Rivals, credit to them. They're doing a great job of innovating on this sort of crossover between like, you know, pro gamers like Booger right here and sort of, you know, the lifestyle traditional sports scene. It's just such a cool crossover. Motherfucking Kyler Murray on your team, bro. Shit, if he hadn't fucking shat in the bed a few weeks ago, he wouldn't have been at this tournament. I'll give you the big tip, man. He would have fucking been at the game. But yeah, I love this, right? And again, it's really cool. I'm sure for also these community champions, quote unquote, to have a chance to play not only with their idols in gaming, but also some, you know, some legitimate NFL stars. So that's pretty cool. Marquise Brown's team won,
Yes,
by the way.
Los
Wide
Capos.
receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. Yep.
Yeah,
Which is cool. So
and I think what this is just a natural progression of, because you've seen Fortnite especially work with the player associations of professional sports on several occasions. They do stuff with the NBA's PA, and they now have done several things with the NFL PA. And what that allows the game dev to do, we've talked about it before when it comes to like name and image and likeness rights when it comes to sports games. It generally starts with you go to the sports PA. So when you go to make the latest Madden game and you want all the football players, you go there first. They act as a collective agent for all the players, right? So
like a protection racket, right, Scott?
Just like a protection racket. So the rich get richer and North America dies in Counter-Strike. Just like that, Mitch. And so we saw this years ago because it started when they started making deals with the PAs to get the skins and the likenesses in the games to play as a football player or a basketball player in Fortnite. So this kind of thing is just another activation to use those rights, to use those players. And obviously the players didn't have to play in the Streamer Bowl. They then use these rights and they go, okay, which one of you guys are into Fortnite? Who wants to do this kind of thing? And it's just really neat. And they just announced either yesterday or today, Fortnite re-announced their deal with the NBA because they're dropping a whole bunch of NBA skins in the game again that you can, you know, pick your favorite team, pick your favorite character, that kind of stuff. So really neat stuff. And again, like, to your point about Twitch Rivals, top-notch stuff. It was fun to watch. Golden Boy was there. Glitter, a bunch of other people.
Was there as well.
What was that?
Sancho West was on the show.
Tons of people.
Obviously, he's really well known, like commentator from I think the FGC. I just really cool. And honestly, like generally very diverse roster of talent on that show. So they did a great job.
And again, also for charity, this one, $1 million for charity. Every charity team picked a team that their prize purse would go to, and every, you know, it paid all the way down to the bottom. So everybody who entered got some money for their charity. Ended up being like $300,000 for first place's charity, $1 million total. So again, for a good cause. And obviously all this happening right now because the Super Bowl just happened. You're going to activate around the NFL. This is the time of year to do that. Great stuff. Go Rams. You suck, sing Bengals.
Go Rams. All right, so I'm not trying to be funny, but I really think that like what Twitch are trying to do in like pushing the envelope of like what defines, you know, competitive gaming and how we can integrate with like lifestyle is like really good. I mean, I am kind of on the Kool-Aid because I work the power meet for Twitch Rivals, right? Which is like the intersection of two of my favorite things ever is fucking weightlifting and video games. That was really cool. And then we did like the Twitch Rivals Ultimate Challenge, where there was like a bunch of physical challenges on day one and then like gaming-based challenges on day two. Like this is the shit that I want to see. You know, I don't need YouTube to compete with Twitch and everything. Like I'm happy to have them try and break down the live streaming monopoly, but like I want to see more of this stuff because it's sick. It shows also just how widespread gaming is and it positions what we do as competitive gamers in a spot of sort of cultural relevance. Because I've always had a concern that and this is already happening, that general gaming, just gaming as a leisure activity will dwarf you know, competitive gaming forever in perpetuity. And competitive gaming will continue to command a smaller and smaller share of that sort of market and and sort of the marketing budget for so many of these companies. And I obviously want to try and avert that if possible. And this is in my opinion a great way of doing it because it's competitive gaming plus, you know, a crossover here with a lot of sort of well-known people from traditional sports and stuff like that. So I'd love to see more of that stuff. Scott, big fan of Twitch Rivals and what they're doing over there.
Yeah, and again, Amazon is now a broadcaster of the NFL, right? They do Thursday nights on Amazon Prime, and that is also now being co-streamed on Twitch. So that lots of synergy.
Yeah, like Sancho West, for example, is a streamer on Twitch. He is like he does like the Twitch co-stream for NFL.
Mm.
I fucking love it. First of all, I don't have the NFL Network or I don't have cable TV, so like I can watch it sometimes on my fantasy football app if it's the right game, but I can only watch it on my phone. And then Thursday night football I can watch on Twitch. So I am generally I really quite enjoyed that. Good idea.
Good to hear.
Anyway,
All right.
there you go.
Next topic, we're going to talk about Riot. Moving on to the NFL and Twitch stuff. To Riot's in the news for quite a few things, and actually, you know, all good. All good. No negative here. Not getting sued. No lawsuits. No settlements. No cheating.
Right.
This is good stuff. So,
Gold star.
first and foremost, they've announced that basically VALORANT, their new game, are you familiar? It's an FPS game by Riot, Mitch.
Yeah, I've heard of it.
It's taken the scene by gangbusters, so they say. They already have something called the Riot Scholastic Association of America, which handles the collegiate scene or helps in the collegiate scene when it comes to League of Legends. You can play in other leagues in collegiate League of Legends. You don't have to only play in Riots, but they basically have an association they built to cover League and college. They're adding VALORANT to this program. And again, we've talked about the education space a couple times already.
Yes.
Where it gets a little weird is high school and college is very different. So while in college, Riot runs these programs for League of Legends and now VALORANT. You can read, this is all about League. Gives you all about the rules and regulations and stuff. And it basically is very clear that, hey, this is only college, and you can also compete in the other third-party leagues that have license to play League of Legends. So your club, your ASU club, could play in Riot because they have a tournament structure. They have a whole league structure that they run. But then you could also play in something else. High school, totally different. Even on this website, they say this does not cover high school. Our games are covered by PlayVersus if you're in the high school market. Because, again, they have sold those rights to PlayVersus, which is this big drama that PlayVersus is being very hard-nosed with activating on those rights to high schools in the space. And what it's basically doing is high schools are just not playing League of Legends and VALORANT. They're playing Rocket League and other games that aren't under this exclusive. But this is really cool.
Yep.
And they're not the only developer. Tespa goes hand-in-hand with Activision Blizzard. That is their collegiate kind of program that keeps an eye on their collegiate space. Riot has this. And I like that it's open and inviting and not closed and exclusive, right, in that space. Because this is not necessarily a money-making space. The education space for colleges and high schools is very much a time and money sink for the education system, not hundreds of thousands of kids watching streams, so they're easily monetizable. So it's a labor of love that is building the grassroots that will then feed Tier 1. And obviously, if I'm Riot, like any other business, I want you to love my game as early as possible and love my IP and love my fist, so you love all my games. Like Microsoft, smartest thing they did was buy Minecraft, because kids are now learning Minecraft as toddlers. Minecraft, Microsoft, Windows, like from an early age,
Overwatch now. Yep. See? This is how it works. Microsoft acquire Activision Blizzard as well. Look, I mean, I personally think that the collegiate scene, high school scene as well, to a great degree is very, very important for the longevity of our industry. Because eventually, it's just not going to make sense for people to drop out of school or avoid avoid getting locked into study to play. And we've seen the effects of that, I think, as well. I also think it plays into the shortness of some players' careers as well, where they just go, fuck me, I can't afford to keep putting education off any longer. So I need to sort of quit or whatever. So this is really good. I've worked pretty closely with Harrisburg University over there in Pennsylvania, which is one of the bigger universities that are sort of trying to put together. They have a fantastic esports team. The Storm are very, very good. Boise State University, also fantastic program, as well as Maryville, and a bunch of others as well. So they're all cropping up.
Yep.
There's a really robust collegiate scene that's emerging right now, and I think it is not just really important, it's crucial for the growth of esports in North America. So really glad to see a greater degree of investment in that, and in VALORANT as well, because VALORANT has a structure right now, even at the top level, where it's open. So you could, as a collegiate team, sign up for a VCT and make it through. Those opportunities are there for you. There is actually no real barrier to entry for any team in VALORANT to make it there. So really makes sense to continue sort of streamlining that pipeline and giving, you know, even sort of collegiate students and maybe one day high school students a chance to sort of compete in those tournaments, because the average age of like a lot of these Valorant pros are like 17, mate. Like a lot of these Valorant, you know, pros haven't even gotten into college yet, so to speak. So, you know, I think that's super relevant. So that's really good. Not the only news we got about Riot Games though this week, as so the League of Legends Esports in North America has a new commissioner and a head of that department. So Jackie Felling comes across, if I'm not mistaken, from actually multiple very large sort of esports products.
Yep.
There was some time, I think, at CDL OWL as head of product. Gears of War, of course, as game producer and global esports head. So congratulations to Jackie. Obviously, the pedigree really speaks for itself. And she moves into like a really a huge position over at Riot Games. And again, I think you know, she's probably really well suited for this role, because I know like I never really knew much about product at Activision Blizzard until until Matt sort of started working in that department there. It's really important. It's the kind of role that decides things like formatting, structure, you know, overall vision for an esports league, aims, you know, revenue models and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot there. I haven't worked with her personally though. I don't know. Obviously, Jason at the back was previously with Overwatch League, and so is Daniel. But I don't know if they have also worked all that closely with her. But yeah, look, obviously, if you're a fan of League of Legends and the LCS, then this is something to definitely take note of here, as there's a huge shift up at the top level.
Yeah, and I think what it speaks to, you know, we went through a time when all the experts were brought in from somewhere else, right? You are well aware of your early time at Overwatch League, where all the TV people were brought in. All the outside experts are going to be brought in to show us how to do this, right? So I love seeing this kind of resume rewarded, right? She is one of us. 16 years in the space. If you worked Gears of War esports, you worked a thankless fucking esport. A fun one to watch, a hardcore game, but that crowd, that audience, that fan base, yeah, like that is hardcore. So if she busted her chops on Gears and then like, that's a resume, right? And it also speaks to obviously the rapid growth of Riot and having to expand their products. I imagine some League of Legends people were moved to newer games to open this, you know what I mean? Like they got more games to cover, more people to worry about, you know, more things to worry about. So up and out with the people that we train for League, bring more bodies in. But what a great, never met her, never worked with her, but like this resume and seeing the Twitter feed when guys like Adam Apicella and people like that are chiming in going, badass, badass, badass. It speaks for itself, right? So good pickup to Riot. Again, don't pay much attention to LCS or League of Legends as a game, but obviously solid pickup.
You can't believe you're still sleeping on League of Legends, Scott.
Not sleeping on it, just that game type in general. Not a Dota guy either. Like just not into MOBAs and just, you know, I will watch the Worlds. I will watch the International, but I definitely get lost in the details of the match when I'm watching, but I'm watching for the production and the spectacle of it, right? Just like I watch one football game a year. Guess what that one was?
Superbowl.
No, the one the Cardinals lost a couple weeks ago. No, it was Super Bowl actually.
Oh,
no,
dude.
it was. And again, it was for the production.
Dude, it's
a
good time to be. It's a good time to be in Arizona and a sports fan. Cardinals are fucking really nice team right now.
Oh, so, but no, all the bitching here is our hockey team is moving to a collegiate venue while they get a new venue in Tempe. You know, getting built for them and. Always had a hard time with our hockey team, so it seats like 5,000. So NHL fans are like, "What? How can you have a professional hockey team? 5,000 seats? Ah. Whatever. I don't know.
I see.
Sports.
All right.
Hockey team in the desert. Never been good. All right.
Did I ever tell you? I actually okay. Well, we'll talk about it later. Story time later on. When we come back from the break, though, we do want to cover some of the news out of the Overwatch League this week. Maybe I know a little bit about that, as well as some interesting adaptations between gaming and normal pop culture. So stick around. More on the other side of the break here at the Breakdown.
And welcome back to the Breakdown. Second half starting now. Starting off with let's take one of our favorite video game franchises and make a movie out of it. Roll the dice, Mitch.
Yeah, why not?
Is it going to be good?
Yeah, it's going to be a movie, right? Not a series. Look, this doesn't always go famously well. I think of like adaptations as well between anime and live action, which is kind of scary, but obviously, very, very well-known game, Bioshock, is set to be, turned into a film adaptation. This has got to divide people because it seems like the more loved the game franchise is, the more, I don't know, the more suspicious people get as to just how wise it is to try and mess with canon, so to speak.
Again, Hollywood has decided just to go after all our content and remake it for the film, right? They're out of ideas, they're out of remakes, they're out of sequels. Obviously, incredibly atmospheric, very, very cool world and video game here with Bioshock. Like, this is a Del Toro movie waiting to happen, right? Like,
Sure.
But yeah, fan bases are already like, no fucking way. What are you doing? Because Netflix has the good and the bad as examples of them being involved in adaptations, right? People would point to Arcane, the Riot IP, going amazing, amazing, amazing. People would point to the Dota show and go terrible, terrible, terrible. Same with Cowboy Bebop. I don't know anything about the Bebop one, but it seemed to have gotten thrashed as a remake or a live adaptation. So I don't know. I think I guess
I would say, yeah, it depends. Some of these things work out. Like right now, what's airing on Amazon Prime is the Legend of Vox Machina animated series, which is literally Critical Role turned into an anime.
Yeah,
and it's fucking lit. It's by the same people who illustrated Avatar: The Last Airbender. So, yeah, look, I understand why people are going to be protective of this, right? Especially those that really love Bioshock. I'll be straight with you. It's been a long time. I didn't really. I think when was Bioshock out? I don't know if I really got into it so much as everyone else did. I think that's more of a me problem than a game problem, though. I'm happy to admit that. I think at the time maybe I had so many distractions. This is all. My taste is fucked, by the way, because I'm the kind of person that played No Man's Sky on release and fucking loved it, even with like all the problems that it had. So like, don't just take my opinion with a grain of salt. But I think this is, pretty iconoclastic move here from Netflix. This comes at the same time as well as like when we're hearing of like a Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power sort of series coming out here. So not that that's necessarily a video game adaptation. It's obviously a book, but yeah, a lot of IP is getting sort of, purchased, and turned into these kind of adaptations. So that's fine. I'm sorry. I don't think I've ever seen a good live action adaptation is my thing. Fucking Bleach was dog shit. The fucking Bleach live action adaptation, fucking awful. I think they did a Death Note one. The Dragon Ball Z one, also not good. That's what kind of worries me. Like maybe can you just keep it animated?
What about Doom?
I think that
with The Rock and
I would
Witcher.
rather watch the Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh, okay.
Well, yes.
Witcher, okay.
I mean, no. Chronicles of Riddick's fucking awful as well. But okay, The Witcher I think is a good example of something that's worked well. But I think the thing about The Witcher is, Scott, the books are fucking vacuous, asinine pulp. Like the books themselves are not what catapulted The Witcher into fame and into sort of this sort of position of prominence. I strongly believe it was the game and CD Projekt Red's adaptation of the books. The books are like Twilight for fucking dudes.
Okay,
honestly.
fair enough.
So you heard. That's how I felt.
So you heard. You didn't read them, right? You just heard that, right?
No, I have read some of them. Yeah, I listened to them in audiobook format. Now it's also translated. I think they were initially written in Polish. So I haven't heard all of them. But yeah, so some of the, there could be some lost in translation there as well. But
gotcha.
The books aren't amazing. So okay, Scott, fair enough. That is an example of a good adaptation, but it wasn't good in the first place, I guess.
Yeah, and then I think something to think about it, if I put my cynical hat on, unfortunately, is, okay, Bioshock has 3 games, right? And the 4th game is coming, right? They've announced the 4th game is coming. So is this movie being made because it's part of a tie-in for the game, and Hollywood would never have revisited and gone down this IP path without the game? Like, is it all part of a marketing thing, whereas this game would have been left alone, and they would not have made a movie if they didn't have it's like they used to make cartoons to sell the toys, right? Are they making a game to sell the movie now? I don't know. I hope not. I really liked the original ones. Like, that was some scary shit. Big Daddy, Little Sis. Like, that was some good gameplay. So we'll see what they do for sure. But
yeah, I don't know if I'm you know,
It's
I don't know
it's
how
also a big,
optimistic I
huge
guess I am.
world, right? And a film adaptation doesn't give you a lot of time. Like, it'd be better if it was a limited series, you know, because it's a big. It'd be interesting what they decide to show, what they decide to do with Bioshock, Rapture, the end of Rapture, the
Yeah,
building of
because I think
Rapture.
what really brings me in is just the way the world is built up and designed. It's just like it's kind of like how Avatar, not the Airbender movie, but the Avatar movie was supposed to just be like it was really just a showcase of current like cutting edge CG technology,
Yeah.
I think. But like the world there was really quite enrapturing, if I may use the pun. So hopefully they're able to do the same here for Bioshock. I don't know. Um, I just don't. I have
Yeah.
a great feeling about it, but that's fine. And I don't even cling to the Bioshock games as like something that it should be considered sacrosanct.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I guess I could care less if they were to make an adaptation. I don't have any, on principle, I'm not against the idea. I just don't really have a lot of faith in the execution of this idea. But you know what?
I was just saying, if you did care,
you go.
Because Imagine brings up in chat, Daniel, that this latest game is not with Ken Levine, right? Or Kevin. It's either Ken or Kevin Levine, the guy behind the first 3 games. He's not with the studio that's making the 4th game. So even the fans are like, this might not even be a Bioshock like we're used to because he's gone, right?
Sure.
So, yeah. New game, new movie. I guess we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. Maybe it'll be just as successful as Activision Blizzard's Warcraft movie.
Fuck me. That was so bad. That was not good, right? Am I the only one that thinks that Warcraft movie was fucking doo-doo butter?
Raise your hand if it was Duty Butter. Duty Butter. Duty
Yeah,
Butter?
fucking
Is
bad,
that
dude.
like,
Okay.
you are a dad? Duty Butter? What the fuck is Duty Butter? There you go. Duty
Doo-doo
Butter.
Doo-doo
There you
butter,
go.
there we go.
Everybody in control room. Jason and gang in the control room. Very much Duty Butter.
All right, good. I'm glad we agree.
Moving on to
Here's
non-Duty
something I don't
Butter, but
think's Duty
Activision
butter.
Blizzard news.
Yeah.
That was some good segue right there.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah,
got.
nice. We always made the same segue at the same time. That was pretty nice. Good job.
So in owl news, wait, not that owl. No, we have actual owl news. There you go. Yes, it'd been so long
Jesus.
since we had talked about owl. That's what our team came up with, and we said get an owl logo.
There was nothing to talk about, was there? It was fuck all to talk about. We had a 7-month off season, which is long, by the way. Not as long as the NFL off season, which I keep reminding people who seem to just like, literally, I'm having conversations with people and they're literally like, Al abandoned us for 7 months, like our interest waned because the off season's been so long. I'm like, okay, it's kind of weird, champ. Obviously, long off season for a few reasons, but the main one being they were waiting for Overwatch 2 to be not only ready to play in the league, but also give the pros some time to fucking acclimate to a new game. So
Makes sense.
yeah, that's what happened. And obviously we have a lot of like Owl ex-wives here in chat and on the show, so I'm here to balance them out. Anyway, Overwatch League season is set to kick off on May the 5th. So initially, I think that Hastro leaked April 20th after an owners meeting because he just fucking has no idea how to use social media and can't help himself. That was sort of read as gospel for a while, and we're now looking at like a slight increase on that timing for I can only assume a bunch of different reasons. Mike, so let me just make something very clear. So everyone's like, oh, Microsoft this, Microsoft that. Microsoft has nothing to do with season 5 of the Overwatch League, guys. Not a fucking thing. The acquisition won't even go through until next year. So there is no Microsoft in this equation at all. And I tend to think it'll be, it'll be a benefit to the Overwatch League. But obviously, a few things to point out here. There is a video of which I'm in there. We're kind of parodying elements of the Overwatch community. So like, I'm sort of parodying a great bloke by the name of Yiska. He was one of the journalists that had sort of a false report that sort of leaked.
Sources.
It would not even be an Overwatch League this year. Yeah, I love the guy, but it was pretty. I remember at the time it was pretty ridiculous, and I had a crack at him about it. It was a little bit irresponsible to sort of go forward with this unconfirmed report. So I'm parodying him. I took a take of it with me talking in a German accent, and we nixed that because that was a bit on the nose. So in this video, I simply just hammered up very Australian, but it's pretty clear to see who I'm parodying. I do love Yiska. He's a great guy. He's actually one of the reasons why I managed to get into the Overwatch League because he wrote a really nice article about me. I used it in my visa interview. It was very important. So shout out to him. There was also, Scott Kennedy is acting as like a Reddit mod. Danny Lim is like a chat Pepega in this as well.
Danny was the best.
John Spector is like not John Spector or something like that. Anyway, it's just a platform for us to sort of deliver some announcements about it. So I'll give you the long and short of it. Starts on May 5th. There's going to be 24 matches per team for the season. Every team in the West region is going to play each other twice. Every team in the East is going to play each other once for each tournament cycle. We still have to split East and West because of immigration issues, but I'll get to the but part in a sec. So first match is NYXL versus Gladiators in the Western region, Fusion versus Dragons in the Eastern region. There will be live events. So there are live events being planned. The details still to come. There'll be sort of monthly tournaments, right? Where you had like, Countdown Cup and sort of Summer Showdown last year. We'll have these sort of blocked out tournaments as we go. Also, there'll be drops returning and all this sort of stuff. And there's play-ins for the postseason. So what people are a little bit like not over the moon about right now is that there's no news about Overwatch 2 yet. So this, and I think what people didn't quite understand is this announcement was very much about the program, the product, right? But no word yet on Overwatch 2 and when that'll be available. A lot of people are like, oh, when will the pro players get access to Overwatch 2? That translates to when will I get access to Overwatch 2? Because fans don't really care that much about the pros getting access. They want to know when they can get access. When the pros get access, they know that they can get access not long after if they clamor enough. So that's where we're at right now. But Scott, also another kind of shocking announcement that just really came out of the blue was that one of the most storied, one of the most famous players of Overwatch history, Jjonak, is retiring. The timing of this is pretty odd. Do you know much about this guy, Scott?
I do not, although the name definitely resonates because he's always spoke about, he's like legendary in your game as a player, right? He is like really good.
He's like, I think he has a degree, he approaches, I don't want to say faker, but like teammates of his in the past, right? Like, definitely, one of the best players. He's not a DPS player, so I guess it's hard for him to be considered a quote unquote faker. But the guy really revolutionized how to sort of have impact on a game as a support player. So,
yeah, and he tweeted, obviously, team put out announcements. Then he tweeted in the second half of this announcement, I am planning to take a break and. The second tweet is basically, and he's going to do some streaming. So he's taking some time off from competitive play, but he's going to do a little bit of streaming. I think that was probably to allay his fans that, he wasn't necessarily disappearing from view.
I don't know what it is. I really, I'm not sure. It could be, it's hard to say. It could be physical. A lot of players have overuse issues, especially like a lot of our Korean players tend to suffer a lot with just because their work ethic is quite insane. With like wrist and hand issues. But Jjonak hasn't really said yet what the reason for stepping back is. So it's pretty concerning, I think, because he's a huge name in the Overwatch League, and Seoul acquired him from the NYXL in this huge trade. They got everyone very excited. So hopefully this is only short term, but who really knows at this stage? It's shit. It's shitty news. It's definitely a shame for sure. And I think to answer Daniel in chat, I think his mandatory service is probably coming up, but he would definitely say that if that was what it was. Like, there's no shame to a South Korean national about having to do mandatory service. They would probably just say it, like Mano, I think, had to. So high hopes for Jjonak to return, but who knows? Hopefully his stream pops off and keeps him sort of close to the game because he's really important to the ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, maybe again, you hope when he says take a break, it's literally just a break and it's not a real retirement because it sounds like he's an asset to Overwatch. So hopefully he just takes time he needs. I have a question, and it's not related to him, I don't think. But back to your Overwatch announcement in the sense of your season. I saw the video. Fun way to do a video, by the way. So props to all you guys. Like, you could have just done a very generic, boring PowerPoint slide with Zoe and Matt talking about, here's what we're going to do.
Did what we could, considering we were remote.
Here's the brackets. Here's this. Thanks for watching. So you had some fun with it, at least, and still got the info out there in a slightly different way and similar to the skitty kind of stuff you all do already. So that was kind of neat. Question I had, though, I saw that 4 tournaments, talked about, and those are obviously LAN events. Is every event played somewhere, or is there online play as well?
Yeah, so good question. I think at this stage, it's much more likely that we are not going to see a reliance on live events like that.
Okay.
So we'll probably see a mix
Okay.
of online and LAN events. Right now, only live events for the West have been announced. That doesn't mean we won't get them in the East, but they have not been announced yet. That hasn't been specified because obviously we're at the tail end of like this COVID situation, but there are still restrictions in immigration that we have to deal with. Good example is like Canada. Like I was thinking about going to Canada to get my visa sticker redone. They're not accepting any foreign nationals until 2023.
Yep.
So the lasting effects of the pandemic are definitely going to be like a concern. But for these tournament final, it was announced 2 week-long tournaments with $1 million prize pool have been announced in the Overwatch League. So that's huge. We've never had that before. Prize pool, that's like the season prize pool from years gone past. Excuse me. Like a grand final, like you fight for the lion's share of $1 million. So we've announced 2 week-long tournaments, basically majors, if you will, for this. So they are definitely going to be at LAN unless something completely fucks it up. Remember, no one was hit hard in the Overwatch League because we were actually trying to have inter-regional play all the time, every week at his homestands, right? As opposed to having a Europe region, an Asia region, NA region, and then come together twice a year, once for MSI, once for Worlds.
Yeah.
We were trying to do that all the fucking time with regularity, which is very ambitious, obviously. So, there will be a mix of online games, probably for a lot of the qualifying matches. And then, for the events, it will be live. I think this is just, again, I think we're finally starting to shake off some of the Nanza era sort of optimism and sort of money throwing because, in my opinion, in the long term, this seems like a much more sustainable model for something like the Overwatch League than having a fucking home venue for every team and playing live every week. Like that is just not, I mean, even in like traditional sports, that only happens regionally, right?
Yeah.
We were trying to do it globally, pretty fucking out there. So we're starting to refine the vision of the Overwatch League, closer also towards what is realistic and makes sense and is sustainable, especially for an ownership group who have a large stake in it. So personally, I'm pretty happy with this. Being able to be around a bunch for my kid and then sort of get to go to the live events and still have that feel and that vibe is really good. So I personally, to be clear, this year, this idea is why I signed on at the start of last year. I knew that last year would be fucking brutal. And if this wasn't happening here in 2022, I would not have re-signed with the Overwatch League. I would have gone and done something else. So this is it. Bluntly, this has to be a bit of a fucking kick-ass year, frankly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, who knows? What I think Noobage saying in chat because of Microsoft, the league is going to get cancelled. I don't know where you pulled that from. That's just nonsense. But I do think that this model needs to be proved, and I think that it needs to make sense. So this year has to be good, and if it gets fucked up by COVID, then that's fine. I don't think anyone's going to blame the model of the league. We'll just have to go again and try something else. So that's my spiel. I'm selling out.
Nicely done.
There you go. But yeah, I'm on a 2-year contract. So I did also announce that I'm coming back to the league. Most people knew that, but like everyone was like, oh, this cast is not coming back. This cast is not coming back. And I'm like, well, just, to sort of, there's a lot of talk around the internet about this on Overwatch, says Noobage. Yeah, I know, but you're literally talking to a guy that's like on the inside. So, there's the masses and their rampant speculation based on nothing at all. And then there's me sort of telling you what I think about this and being pretty honest about what it was that made me decide to stay on. I think it's really important to identify when you have like a valuable source or like a more trustworthy source than like just someone just saying something like, that's dead, game's dead, the fucking league's over, Microsoft is going to kill it. Like, come on, let's be real.
According to Mishka's
you have a valuable
sources,
opportunity
though.
here for me right now. So yeah, anyway, so I'm doing that again this year. Hopefully, it'll work out.
Well, and I think it does make sense that you'd have to be in some sort of hybrid online LAN mode still, because I think what a lot of people forget in this traveling world that pros have to do, and I notice it a lot in Counter-Strike, because, again, open ecosystem, lots of different tournaments, is it's not just what that tournament organizer does for that event, but it's where you're coming from and where you're going that can affect the 10 days still before you go and the 10 days after. And what I mean by that is like, they might do something in a country that, and where I'm from has a 10-day quarantine. So when I leave your event and go home, because I went to your event, I have to lock myself at home for 10 days still. But what if I got to go somewhere in 5 days when I get home to another event? I can't. So so they're working things out. Like, I'm not going to go home. I'm going to go straight from this boot camp. So you guys different. You're not an open ecosystem, but same kind of thing. You don't want to hamper. If your players travel too much, you can actually maybe a little less on the quarantine front than it used to be a year ago or so. But countries are still figuring out and changing their rules, right? We're having a big conversation about the Counter-Strike major in Belgium. What are the rules for vaccination in Belgium versus what you should do? Again, I think it's still safe for all leagues to be a little wary and a little safe and keep it online a little bit. If it makes sense, because you just don't want these players locked up somewhere in quarantines or sick, even worse, sick. Yeah, and again, as chat's bringing up, IEM, categories, like complexity had to drop out because of COVID. Lots of substitution because of COVID. It's still a problem, right? It's still an ongoing health crisis happening. All right. Speaking of other bullshit still happening in the world, God, the segues are good today.
What the fuck was that? This is not bullshit. That's not a true segue.
No, this is bullshit. No,
but you said speaking of other bullshit. Oh, you mean like I see, like
where we're going is bullshit. Pandemic is bullshit. No,
it sounded like where we were coming from was bullshit.
Mr. Defensive, Overwatch is fine. You're good. No, bullshit beating pandemic, not the Overwatch League waste of money. All right, moving.
Unreal.
Wait, can you hear me, Mitch? Hello?
You pay me, and you pay me, and you're calling the Overwatch League a waste of money. Like, just think about that for a second.
I know. Oh God, now we're gonna get our funding cut. Good job. All right, moving on.
Not my fault.
It would not be a breakdown without an NFT conversation, and almost with Noble. Noble's almost a weekly conversation too. So in combination NFT Noble news. Noble, by the way, a clan that a couple weeks ago we reported on, owes a lot of their staff, a lot of their players, a whole lot of money. The owner ditched out, started a coin, decided who he wants to pay. Now he's shilling this nobility token.
He's not paying his fucking employees.
And he's not
still
paying
doing
his
this
employees.
Shit.
Yeah.
Some fucking Floridian dickhead called Kyle. And it couldn't be any more stereotypical. Fuck me dead. This is in the Discord. So everyone, as their NFT collection marketing starts in the next few days, we'll be adding components to it that will make it more interesting. I fucking hate that emoji. That only slimy people use that. The first thing we're doing is once the collection is sold out of the 4,444 nights, there will be a live and randomized selection of one of the minted night numbers, and that holder will receive a brand new Tesla. Now, there's just so much to unpack here. Can I start by explaining what the fuck this dogshit NFT is?
Yes.
So, obviously the guy, after realizing he had no idea how to run an esports organization, he decided to develop a cryptocurrency token. But with the idea was basically that a portion of the proceeds from the royalties of the sort of trading of this token would go towards esports. It's just another Ponzi scheme. And then he's also announced an NFT collection called the Noble Knights. There's a bunch of procedurally randomly generated nights, 4,444 of them.
Okay.
But essentially, you have an NFT, then there's a game that's created around them, and it does other things, blah, blah, blah. If you want to mint one of these nights, by the way, there's still, how many? Let me see. There's still 4,299 out of 4,444 nights available. So not a great start for this NFT collection. Still many of them available. So when you mint an NFT normally, it's like 0.1 Ethereum, maybe 0.2 at the most. This is 0.444 Ethereum to even mint one, to even get one. You don't know how rare it'll be, you don't know how value, you don't know what it'll do, which is like $1,350 to even get one. So first of all, this guy, it's dog shit marketing of an NFT to NFT bros, because even they won't go for this. It's just unfathomably expensive compared to other NFT collections out there. So they expect to get through all of these. There's no sales of this on OpenSea. It's not a verified collection on OpenSea. No volume traded. So there are 145 nights in existence. They have 66 owners. Most of them probably got given them, as staff or whatever. But there's no secondary market existing for these. It's just the deadest It's the deadest project I've ever seen. No one's interested in it. No one is trading it. There's no price action, no nothing. And the idea is just basically you get a knight, and then there's a PvP aspect to this little NFT game where you can battle your knight against other knights. But if your knight loses its first battle, it is burnt. So it just pops out of existence. So there's a gambling aspect now. Your usual NFT and PvP, and it might just get fucked on straight away. If it survives, it'll evolve into something else that gives you more utility, whatever. It's just another shitty, weird, annoying NFT project that makes no fucking sense. And hey, Scott, how magnanimous of this Kyle fuckboy that he's going to give away a Tesla after he sells all of these knights. How much would he make selling all these knights?
Well,
4,444. It's 3.44 ETH.
Yeah, you're not supposed to do math on air, as you know, as a caster, but we did the math pre-air, and if I did it right, you said he's trying to sell 4,444 of them, 4 times 4, and you said they're 1,300. That's what the ETH translates to right now.
Yeah, approximately $1,358 US dollars.
Is that five?
Mint one.
Is that $5.7 million then? 1,300 times 4,444. Is that? Am I doing the math right? $5.7 million.
Yeah, I guess you are. Wow, I guess a Tesla seems like a drop in the well in that case.
Wow, he should give away 2 Teslas. I mean, holy smokes!
He's saving the rest of the money. He's saving the rest of the money to pay off his employees, though. You know what I mean? This benevolent fucking soul is this Kyle guy. So this is a guy from Noble previously said, me and the ex-Noble team still owed $10,000 in total, and he's giving away Teslas. This could be like one of them. I don't really know, one of his previous players. So yeah, obviously people have cottoned onto this. Gears of War player, excuse me. What I love about this whole thing is that like these NFTs, like they cost 0.4 ETH to mint, which is unreal. People are listing them for 10 ETH when there's still 4,200 of them left to mint. Then they're trying to list them for 20 times the price. I mean, this is not. Don't go anywhere near this. If you are dumb enough to be trying to flip NFTs right now or buy JPEGs, and you don't care about the potential of the technology, you just want to be a weirdo and buy them like I was at one point and really regret, then you can do it. But this is not the collection you should go anywhere near with the 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
Try and find something with utility. Just please don't do this. I know we're giving it publicity, but we're dragging this terrible idea into the town square and we're beating the shit out of it because this is legitimately the biggest scam. There are a lot of scams in this world, right? There are a lot of bad actors in NFTs as there are in fucking every other sphere, but this is taking the cake. This is fucking awful.
Yeah.
This is like crypto land of bad, Scott.
Well, I mean, obviously he's trying to make some money to buy a plot at crypto land with this scam, $5.7 million or whatever the hell it is. And what an easy thing, like you just never get to your 4444, so you never have to give the Tesla away, but you were able to say you're giving away a Tesla. Classic fucking scam.
I mean, you've had like 154 of these or something minted. I don't know how many have been given away. You might have made a little bit of money there, but like the NFTs look dog shit. They look fucking weird. They all do. I guess they're not apes, so I guess that's a bonus, but they don't do anything. And even when they do something, you're at the risk of just completely losing it all. I mean, it's just don't. Like, I'm so sick. This is why NFTs piss me off, right? I'm not even particularly upset about like art theft is bad, right? It doesn't happen all the time, but people seem to think it does. Whatever. It does happen in NFTs. Obviously, like the environmental impact of transacting with the Ethereum blockchain is pretty bad right now, and I recommend people avoid doing so until it's a proof of stake. Even then, all that aside, like this is I just fucking hate the idea of like trying to flip these things and turning uneducated people into exit liquidity. Like it's just so annoying. Just stop. I'm so over it. God, it's stupid.
So you're not going to invest in the glitch arenas that we're going to put on crypto land? Wait.
No, because like anybody who suffers from epilepsy, I think would not be able to go there. Like that whole design is just fucking god awful. I don't want that. There's nothing relaxing. Well, okay, I guess gaming's not about being relaxing. Maybe I'm getting old here, but I don't even think it's going to appeal to Zoomers on 200 milligrams of modafinil.
No.
It's just way too much. And I think look, the modular built-in PC desk thing is fine. I think trying to transport that could lead to a lot of problems. Just moving them around the fucking world. But whatever, that's fine. Try and innovate in the esports space. Okay, just don't do it with NFTs and like really seedy looking renders of a fucking Battlestar Galactica esports arena. Like, look, that ain't it. And those things, like we talked about it, right? Those things have not really been shown to be like lucrative ideas. You know, beyond arenas or belong, are doing something on a smaller scale. I think that makes much more sense. We just sort of, you know, go just try and take it piecemeal in developing these purpose-built esports arenas, because especially in times like this, the demand isn't there, and we need to see competitive gaming take on much bigger cultural relevance before this makes sense. That's all I want to say there.
Yep. As always, we will be keeping an eye on our friends at Noble just to see what bullshit they pull next. But it's time, Mitch. It's time. Our first segment, sponsored Rapid Fire, presented by Rivalry. Our friends at Rivalry have teamed up to ask us crazy, silly, goddamn questions. We're on fire. Put it out. Oh, God. All right. It's going to get crazier in here. All right. Here we go. Rapid fire, kind of, sort of. Rapid fire. Here we go. Again, rapid fire presented by Rivalry. Mitch, are you ready? Number 10.
Yes.
There are no right answers. There are no wrong answers. I will be keeping points at the end. You might win prizes. You might not. Number 10. Would you rather wrestle in a tub full of Jell-O or yogurt?
Jell-O, because honestly, like the milky stuff would leave a film. I don't know, it's just kind of fucking weird. Jell-O, I could maybe sort of part a little bit easier, and then I could get some sugar rush by eating some during the fight and regain my strength.
Good call. Good call. Yogurt, way too messy. Number 9. Who would win in a fight, Bren or Sideshow?
Sideshow. I actually think he's like a black belt in some martial art, just has never told anyone about it. Yeah, Bren, you know, he would try and like pop lock and then just fall over. I think Josh is, you know, sneaky, probably really dangerous.
Yes,
I think
Sideshow is he is the definition of scrappy to me. He's going to do whatever it takes, right?
You have to look.
Yeah. Number 8, best breakfast cereal.
Shit, Fruit Loops. That shit's fire. I haven't had that in years, but I fucking want it right now. That shit's fire.
Lucky strike, but we'll give that to you. Number 7, why is New Zealand better than Australia?
It's not. It sucks. It's not very good. They all talk funny, and they're bad at cricket.
Number 6, who is the best pro player you've killed in a game? Scrimmaging, pubbing, messing with.
I've killed Taimu in back in the Overwatch closed beta. The last person that I killed was him actually in a game on Hanamura. Get fucked, buddy.
Okay, Jesus. All right, boy. Oof. Number 5, halfway there. Who would play the movie version of you?
Robert Downey Jr.
Oh, shit. Obviously, cleaned up Robbie Downey Jr., not less than 0, all fucked up, blowjobs in the
That's
bathroom.
right, yeah,
Robert
like
Downey Jr.,
we're talking like Stark, Robert Downey
like
Jr.,
Stark,
like Iron
yeah,
Man, you
fair
know what I
enough,
mean?
got you. Good call, good call. Okay, number 4.
Well, Chris Hemsworth.
Sean Connery for me, by the way. Number 4, weapon of choice, rocket launcher or railgun? Rocket launcher or railgun?
Railgun, fucking hell, playing Quake, that was my shit. I love that. All about the railgun, man. I'm like an arm aimer, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I need that splash damage. I'll take rocket launcher.
Oh, thanks.
Number 3, if you could own any kind of car, money no object, not a Tesla, what would it be?
I actually would like a Kia Stinger. I didn't get one because I had to be sensible and dad, so I got a Honda Civic. But the Kia Stingers are really cool. They look cool and they're not that expensive as well. You know, they're bordering in muscle territory, but they're not. I like them.
If you could own any car, what would it be? Really? That's what you're going to say?
Fucking DeLorean.
Okay. Well,
fucking DeLorean. I don't know.
All right. You're supposed to say Lambo. Lambo, brah. All right.
Nah,
number 2.
Maybe like a Skyline.
Okay,
yeah.
fair enough.
Anyway.
Number 2. The best James Bond is?
Pierce Brosnan. Yeah, fuck you guys. I'm not a boomer. Pierce Brosnan. He to me is quintessential. I'm 30. What do you want?
Again, I'll refer to you, Sean Connery, as an answer yet again today. All right, and the final question of our first rapid fire presented by Rivalry. Who would win in a fight? Multiple choice. Master Chief, Gordon Ramsay, or the Doom guy?
Master Chief has come back from the dead so many times. Gordon Ramsay. Because you know what he'd do? He'd fucking get up in their face and he'd have such an eloquent string of insults that their knees would just start quivering and they'd shit themselves inside their power armor, Scott, thereby turning it off, rendering them useless. They'd be stuck, they'd be basically carbonized in these suits of armor with shit all through them.
I like it. I'm going to accept that answer. The judges will accept that answer. And what we do with this question is we ask Chad every week, right? Our last question. So let's just see how you stacked up to Chad. Again, the question would be, who would win in a fight? Doomslayer, Gordon, Master Chief. Get it? Master Chef. Get it?
Oh my God.
And Master Chief. And the chat went with, drumroll please, Gordon Ramsay as well as the winners. You're both aligned.
I'm a man of the people,
You are.
Scott. You see, I have my finger on the pulse, you know.
You are
That's
Twitch
why
chat.
I know Pierce Brosnan was the best Bond, and Master Chef would win. Easy clap.
No Pierce Bronson. No Pierce Bronson, but I will give you that. Big shout-outs. Rivalry, bringing us rapid fire every week. Next week, you're going to ask me a bunch of silly questions.
Nice.
Rivalry, rapid fire. Always wanted to throw one of those. All right. Now, that was actually cool. That'll be fun to do every week. And we don't get to see, like, you don't get to see those questions. I won't get to see them next week, so it is kind of off the cuff for one of us.
Yes.
Now let's get into any questions you guys might have for us. Every week we let you guys ask us questions. We try to catch up with any topics we missed. If you've got something for us in chat, let's see what we got. And again, big shout-outs to Rivalry. Here we go. What are your thoughts on Rush B Media closing down? And this is from Halo Flyer. If you're not familiar with Rush B Media, Mitch, a Counter-Strike-centric volunteer news website, started to dabble into VALORANT as well this year, run by a bunch of volunteers and a guy by the name of Ryan, young finance guy who is now taking a real job in esports, so he's basically closing it down. But it was a really cool kind of learn your chops, kind of get your feet wet kind of place if you had journalistic or social media aspirations in our space, especially Counter-Strike. Tyler, who works for us now, worked for them and again, very volunteer-based. No sponsors, no money was being made by anyone over there. And he's decided to close it because he's taking a real job in esports, giving up his real career and giving this esports thing. He hasn't said what he's doing yet. But he's given it a real shot, and he doesn't feel like he can keep that still going. So he's kind of sending his pigeons to fly and be free, if you will. And it was a cool site.
All I know about this guy is he's a fucking god tier shit poster. So I know he's going to be successful no matter where in esports.
Yeah.
Actual god tier shit poster.
He is a god tier shit poster. I mean, he's had like senator wannabes like reporting him to the FBI for trolling. Like he's everywhere. It'd be very interesting to see what he does if he takes a social job somewhere or a management role. Like he said nothing other than he's taking a full-time job in esports. So that could be with a team, that could be with the TO, that could be with one of our other media companies, you know, a Half-Life TV or someone like that. But again, shout outs, Ryan. You know, obviously we always giving you shit, always like what you do. And again, you were a really, really good training ground for a lot of people. It's much like that, the newsletter, TLDR is doing the same thing on a newsletter front, giving a lot of people a chance to kind of learn and craft, you know, writing and, you know, because that side, especially, you know, content creation, not a whole lot of jobs, right? It's a hard business to make money in. So then therefore jobs are hard to come by because not a whole lot of revenue from those people.
Sure.
You know, Half-Life TV, has been the source. That's why they are where they are. It took them forever, though, to even monetize their page views. So, again, shout-outs to...
It's ads, right?
And with ads. And finally,
so,
gambling ads, and they got bought by a gambling company, right? So they were able to get some VC, too, to kind of get people on payroll.
Yeah, see, the VC always has to come from these places because people in esports won't pay for this content.
Yep.
I'm telling you, like they expect it for free. So you have to find VC sometimes in you know, externalities, like a gambling company. Like, that's just how it is.
Yeah. You have to go where the money is, you know, and if the vices are what's bringing the money. Again, it's also traditional sports is going right to these same vices, right? For years, decades, traditional American sports stayed away from any logos on jerseys and certainly anything to do with gambling. Now, in the states where gambling is legalized, the actual sports teams hold licenses to run sports books in their venues. Like the Cardinals has a sports book license here, right? It's gone from like, oh, Puritan America, gambling bad, to like, oh, fuck yeah, woo, here's a hot dog, it costs too much, and bet on the game, right? Again,
libertarian renaissance.
It's crazy. You got to go, and the fans love it. Obviously, people bet on the shit. All right, so that's it's a bummer. I liked their work. It had a nice snark to it. Again, their social media was fun, very North American centric. We are raw North American esports and Counter-Strike. So it's a bummer to see it close, but it makes perfect sense that all good things must come to an end. All right, let's go to our next question. What do you think of ironmouse's recent success on Twitch? From Tungsten Rat. Are you familiar with Iron and her blow up this last month, Mitch? Is this a story you're familiar with at all?
No, I do know that she is a VTuber, right?
Correct. So
Ironmouse,
VTuber. Here's her stats. So she's blown up this month. She's doing a subathon, and this month she has skyrocketed to the third most popular streamer, highest women streamer. She is a VTuber. She is with the big agency. I'm going to say it wrong. Help me out, Daniel.
VShojo.
VShojo. Yeah. Thank you. And hell of a subathon going around, an uncapped subathon, which means that when they're sleeping, they're still live, but they're sleeping. Her avatar goes to sleep, so to speak, or goes idle. And the feel good story of this is she is a woman who's had tons and tons and tons of health issues, the kind of person that would just not normally be a streamer. Bedridden, immune compromised, all sorts of issues that make life hard, let alone trying to be an engaging, happy-go-lucky streamer. So again, what a perfect, cool thing to find. And she's an artist, she's a singer, she's a very creative person, right? So to find this outlet that you can have your personality shown, right, as a VTuber, and not be self-conscious that you're actually bedridden and maybe don't look so good. So two things. A, you find an outlet, right? Whether one person or 10,000 people are watching, she has found this cool outlet. But then this thing blows up like nobody's business, right? So now you have the income, you have the success, you have all the other things that go along with this hobby, right? Really, 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 really cool. People, you don't have to like anime, you don't have to like, VTubers. I just think it's a really cool human story of someone getting success out of a world that probably they never thought they would have any sort of success like this, again, due to their life condition.
I love her OP. Her avatar is fucking awesome. I am a weeb though, but so I mean, a good I don't know. I think that VTubing has some really promising potential, and I mean, for those that don't know, Code Miko as well, who's a really well-known VTuber. She is now living at the Envy House with both her sisters and Minx. So she's really been really successful as well in that regard. I don't really follow them on a regular basis, but I'm aware of VShojo as an agency for a lot of VTubers, and I don't really have an issue with the concept. I think it's really, really cool. And look, in the case of someone who is, immunocompromised and has to have I think plasma treatments on a regular basis, this is just, I don't know, it's very heartwarming, and I think it's really well deserved. And again, she's able to produce such great content. So I'll be honest with you, man, at 30, that already puts me, I'm already the age where my age is used as a pejorative by people on social media. That's where we are. But I'm interested in just sort of getting more into VTubers and understanding that a bit more, because it's fucking funny. What? I don't know, man. I mean, it's cool.
I think it's cool as shit.
I just think it's cool.
I'm not a weeb, so and we've talked about that. I'm not into anime, I don't watch these kind of streams. But what blows me away, and you bring up Code Miko, because she technically is even crazier. Obviously they're all rigged and they're all doing really crazy animated live action stuff. Code Miko is more in a 3D Unreal world, which I think is neat. Code Miko could be sitting right here, right? She would fit right in here. But I love just the production technicality that they're all doing because it's come really a far way from your mouth kind of maybe moves to them being incredibly lifelike. Yeah. And then Shingen, I don't know if you...
Dude, I just want to, out of nowhere, just develop a VTuber alias, and then no one would know it was me. I'd just use a voice changer or whatever, and I would just be kawaii as fuck.
Let's do the breakdown,
different Twitch
kawaii
channel.
version.
Yeah, no, if you could turn me into like Fox Sin Barn from Seven Deadly Sins,
Okay.
I would fucking do that. Yeah, I would hella do that.
look,
I'm a disgraceful weeb, to be fair.
Okay,
but
so let's get this going.
do
So
that.
you be that, and I have no idea what it would be, but
Yeah.
like the stereotypical old sage dude with the white beard, the long white beard, and
Yeah.
the Fu Manchu. I want to be that guy, bald, white roby
Okay,
guy.
there's actually a guy. You could be Uncle Iroh from Avatar. That would be fucking
Okay,
great.
cool.
Or everyone loves Uncle Iroh. Or okay, I'm an owl. Hoot hoot. Yeah, this is easy. I'm fucking nailing this. My mouth's not moving. We'll work on the model. But you could be the wizened blacksmith from Dr. Stone who's swole as fuck and he's really into making shit in these forges, but he doesn't know any of this future technology. So the main character comes and teaches him how to make stuff, and he's just god tier at it.
Okay.
That would be really good.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, Jason, we need to reskin this whole damn thing and put us in a magical forest next week. Thank you.
Yes.
Very, very cool. And then I might be getting his name wrong, but I want to say it's Shin. Is it Shingen that his streams under? This is a guy that's been around technical streams for a long time. He is also a VTuber, but he's doing crazy stuff. Like, so he'll take this coffee cup and he'll make it a VTuber one night, and he'll give it a mouth.
Oh, so you talk about Sushi Dragon?
No, that guy is
okay,
no,
okay.
no. This guy, he'll take the he would turn the Altoid box into a VTuber that night. Like he took a gun,
Yes. No, he makes really cursed VTuber characters.
Yeah, like
one was a gun.
Yeah, the best one was he took a Desert Eagle and made it into a VTuber. Just crazy goddamn shit. And Sushi Dragon, yeah, totally crazy dude. The stuff he's actually programming that goes even beyond VTubing. I think what he's doing, AR, XR,
sure.
you name it.
He's a full scale production. Unto himself.
Yeah.
That guy.
But yeah, so back to that question. Great story. Great origin story for her. Still being written. And wish her continued success. Wish her continued healthy recovery of her stuff, because it sounds like it's manageable. It's getting better for her. The things that she has going on, because she has a couple different issues. One's lung related, one's immune related. So yeah, and again, financial stuff makes things easier when you've got money. Insurance gets easy, doctor's bills, that all adds up. So this is great stuff for her. And yeah, when we have one more question. Thank you, Jason. In my ear, Jason.
Let's go.
Oh God. If UberShouts shouted shout, how loud would UberShouts shout? From Elvish Guy 11. Is that like a woodchuck chuck? How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck?
Yeah, probably is. Shout out to Elfish Guy, by the way. He was my co-commentator back when I lived in Australia.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I give him shit. I really haze the crap out of my co-commentators, in case you've noticed. Like, I basically bully Van Silly on a regular basis. I did the same to Jordan, but big shout out to him. One of the best casters that Australia has. So thanks, man. And yeah, I'm fucking loud, bro. I used to fucking steal the mic off you, poor bastard. Good times.
So loud.
Good times. Yeah, loud, obviously. I mean, tune into the Overwatch League this year to our fucking Battle for Texas. You'll hear me fucking pop off. Don't you worry.
There you go.
Don't you worry.
You want to plug it one more time?
Yeah, Battle for Texas. It's happening at some point. I don't know the actual date, but yeah, obviously Outlaws versus Fuel, always a good game. Listen, look, you guys out there saying game's dead, league's dead. Listen, no, it's not. We don't fucking you don't want to watch. We don't need you, but you probably should, because it's fucking fire. I'm gonna make it into something sick.
How many active
I'm
players?
doing it myself. No
7 million.
That's me. Well, yeah. So I mean, as of January, it was like 7 million monthly active users.
Not a
So
dead game.
it's pretty good for a 5-year-old, 6-year-old game. So yeah.
How's Lucio?
Eventually, we'll get a sequel to the fucking game, and it'll be even better, hopefully.
I was a Lucio main, and I loved that character. Is he still cool? Is he played at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. He's still fucking good, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. That guy's fire, no doubt.
Good to hear. All right. That will do it for this episode of The Breakdown, folks. Thanks as always for watching. Keep an eye on all our socials. Remember,
Brosnan, #1.
Yes, what he said. And then Tuesdays, he does that show called Valoranting. And then we're back on Wednesdays. More fire. Bring the fire!
Getting hot in here.
See you next week.
Get me out of this one and come to the studio. Cheers!